A revolution is underway in parts of the region, a Jesus revolution. An unprecedented number of Muslims are forsaking Islam and choosing to follow Christ, especially in Iran.
In the dead of night, in the narrow streets of Tehran, a young woman clutches a small book to her chest. It is forbidden. If caught, she could lose everything: her freedom, her family, even her life. But she cannot let go, because for the first time, she has found something worth living and dying for: the message of Jesus Christ. This scene is not rare. It is happening all across Iran. In living rooms with curtains drawn, in secret basements where a single candle burns, in online meetings hidden from the government's eyes. A quiet revolution is sweeping the nation. A revolution not of politics, but of hearts. Reports now reveal that over 1 million Muslims in Iran have turned to Christianity, making it one of the fastest-growing churches in the entire world. But what is fueling this underground revival? Why would millions risk everything to follow Jesus in the very land where doing so can cost them their lives? Before we dive deeper into this incredible story, kindly take a moment to subscribe to our channel. By doing so, you'll never miss these awe-inspiring stories of faith, history, and prophecy unfolding in our time. Now, let's journey together into the heart of Iran's Jesus revolution.
It's growing incredibly fast. Some would say it's the fastest growing church in the world. I've heard figures such as 20% growth rate per year. What we do know is that it's growing and it's healthy. And Iranians are looking for an alternative because at their heart, Iranians are not secular people. They are spiritual people. They believe in God. They believe in a creator and they want relationship with him. They've tried it with Islam. They've seen what it's done to their lives and they're looking for something better and they're finding Jesus.
When the Islamic Revolution swept Iran in 1979, Christianity was almost invisible in the country. Fewer than 500 Muslims were known to have converted to Christianity. Christianity seemed destined to wither away under the weight of persecution. Yet today, 4 decades later, there are more than 1 million believers. From 500 to 1 million. How could this be? How could a nation so steeped in Islam suddenly become one of the fastest-growing Christian communities on earth? One Iranian pastor explained it like this: "They tried to kill the church. But the more they pressed us down, the more the gospel spread. The blood of the martyrs truly became the seed of the church." One of the most awe-inspiring parts of this movement is the way Jesus himself is reaching people. Testimonies pour in daily of Muslims seeing visions and dreams of a man in white, radiant, filled with peace, who reveals himself as Jesus. A young man named Reza shared, "I saw a light in my dream, brighter than the sun. A man in white walked toward me. He touched my shoulder and said, 'I am the way, the truth, and the life.' When I woke up, I couldn't stop crying. I knew it was Isa, Jesus. That night changed everything." This isn't isolated. Satellite TV ministries like Sati 7 and Mohabbat TV confirm that thousands of calls come in every month from Iranians who testify of such encounters. And it sounds exactly like the prophecy in Joel chapter 2, verse 28. "I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy, your old men will dream dreams, your young men will see visions." Since public churches are banned for Muslims, the Iranian church has gone underground. And yet, it flourishes. Christians gather quietly in homes, sometimes only 2 or 3 at a time. They worship in whispers. They pass around a single Bible like it's a treasure worth more than gold. If one is arrested, another rises to take their place. What's even more surprising is that this movement is led largely by women. In a society where women are often pushed into silence, God has raised them up as fearless leaders of the underground church. They teach, evangelize, and baptize new believers, sometimes in secret bathtubs, sometimes in hidden streams under cover of night. One female leader said, "In Iran, women are expected to be silent, but Jesus gave me a voice, and I will not stop speaking his name." It's a living echo of Acts chapter 5, verse 42. Day after day, in the temple courts and from house to house, they never stopped teaching and proclaiming the good news that Jesus is the Messiah. So why is this happening? Why would Muslims in Iran risk prison, torture, and exile just to follow Christ? The reasons run deep. Many have grown weary of the strict religious system around them. They see corruption. They feel the weight of endless laws and rituals, but no peace. They hunger for something real. And then they hear about Jesus. They hear about a God who is not distant but near, who does not demand endless sacrifice, but became the sacrifice himself. They hear of grace, forgiveness, and love, and they realize this is the truth their hearts have been searching for. A young woman named Ladan said it best. "All my life I was told God was angry with me. But then I met Jesus, and I felt his love. I am no longer afraid." Others are drawn through miracles and healings. Some testify of being delivered from years of addiction after a simple prayer in Jesus' name. Others say their bodies were healed when doctors had no hope. Every testimony becomes another spark in a fire that cannot be quenched. But let us not mistake this movement for something easy. For many, following Jesus in Iran comes at a heavy price. Believers risk being rejected by their families. They risk losing jobs, being imprisoned, or even facing torture. And yet, they continue. One young believer who was jailed for his faith said, "They locked me in a cell, but they could not lock Jesus out. Even in prison, his presence was with me." The courage of these men and women reminds us of Matthew chapter 16, verse 18, where Jesus declared, "I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." No matter the persecution, the church in Iran grows stronger. This revival also has a prophetic dimension. In the Bible, Iran was known as Persia. It was a Persian king, Cyrus, whom God called his anointed one, who allowed the Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple, Ezra chapter 1, verse 1 to 4. Persia has always played a role in God's plan. And now, thousands of years later, we see Persians once again turning to the God of Israel. Could this be part of the prophecy in Isaiah 19:25? "Blessed be Egypt, my people, Assyria, my handiwork, and Israel, my inheritance." A vision of nations in the Middle East turning to worship the Lord together. It may very well be that Iran's revival is one of the first fruits of this prophecy, an awakening preparing the way for something far greater in the region. The Jesus Revolution in Iran is not just their story, it's ours too. It's a reminder that God's Spirit moves where He wills. No government, no prison, no law can stop Him. It challenges us to ask, if our brothers and sisters in Iran are willing to risk everything for Jesus, how bold are we in our own faith? If they can worship in whispers behind closed doors, can we not lift our voices freely where we are? Hebrews chapter 13 verse 3 urges us, "Remember those in prison as if you were together with them in prison, and those who are mistreated as if you yourselves were suffering." Their courage is a mirror to our own hearts. From 500 believers in 1979 to over 1 million today, the numbers tell a story. But the real story is not in the statistics. It's in the faces, the tears, the whispers, and the courage of those who choose Jesus no matter the cost. This is not a political revolution. This is not a cultural fad. This is a Jesus revolution. A fire has been lit in Iran, and it cannot be quenched. The government cannot stop it. The prisons cannot silence it. The fear cannot kill it. Because it is the fire of the Holy Spirit, sweeping across a nation hungry for truth. And as Jesus promised in Matthew chapter 28, verse 20, "And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age." Yes, even in Iran, especially in Iran.